Welcome, my dear seekers of the Golden Path. I'm Fredo, your guide and master of the Universal Healing Arts and Third Eye Development. Today's episode is something truly special. We're diving into the ancient and powerful symbolism of the sacred pyramid, on how it perfectly integrates the divine with the earthly persona and the material world, and what it can teach us about unity, manifestation, and the evolution of the human spirit. By the end of this discussion, you'll gain insights into how divine consciousness flows into the material world, how both light and darkness serve your spiritual growth, and we'll also briefly explore the significance of the universal elements: fire, air, water, and earth, as well as the Akasha principle. I hope the insights I will present here will inspire you to meditate on them and integrate their wisdom into your spiritual practice, helping you transform them into something truly practical that aligns with your path. But here's the big question to keep in mind as we go through this video. What hidden truths about your spiritual journey can the wisdom of the sacred pyramid reveal to you? Let's find out together. And let's embark on this enlightening conversation. Ready? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Third Eye, the bridge to universal truths and life's unity. There was this one time I worked with a client who really left a big impression on me. Not just because of her energy, but also her openness. During our energy healing session, I could see clairvoyantly that her mind wasn't just calm, it was deliberately empty. And I don't mean empty like blank or clueless. I mean, she had consciously cleared it of all thoughts, desires, and intentions. She had created this big, open space within herself, almost like a sacred sanctuary where the divine could flow in, whether that was divine will, power, divine blessings, or divine consciousness. If you're familiar with Bardon's teachings, this vacancy of the mind is actually one of the first things a student learns. Now, here's the thing. This client didn't know anything about Bardon or his teachings or his training. But because she had such deep spiritual aspirations, she was able to hold that state of vacancy of the mind effortlessly, like it was second nature. It was honestly fascinating to witness that. While I observed her ajna, third eye, and crown chakras, it was like seeing this vast, glowing portal, just waiting to receive divine energy. Picture an airport runway at night, completely lit up, and ready for a plane to land. That's what her mind reminded me of. Open, sacred, and ready to be filled with divine presence. This client, by the way, is a Muslim. Yes, a Muslim. Over the years, I've worked with all kinds of people, those from different religions, spiritual seekers, agnostics, and even those who would consider themselves as atheists. But somehow, they still believe in some kind of higher power or divine source in their own way. You know what, my dear seeker? What I've learned is that in energy healing, your religion doesn't matter. It's not a barrier, and it doesn't define how deep your spiritual journey can go. To me, religions are like tools or lenses. They help us catch glimpses of universal truths and divine principles. Each one carries pieces of the divine puzzle, shaped or perceived in a different way by the culture and society of its followers. This difference or diversity is a reflection of how the mind of the earthly persona works in the material world, wherein it tries to interpret infinite divine concepts in finite forms within the scope of the intellectual and emotional mind. So that's how the ego or earthly persona tries to understand and navigate the vastness of the divine within the confines of our human experience on earth. The human experience, for the most part, is driven by the intellectual faculty of man and the lower emotions. This intellectual capacity is powerful in its own right, enabling us to reason, analyze, and solve complex problems. Meanwhile, lower emotions such as fear, anger, and desire often arise from primal instincts and ego-driven tendencies. Though they serve essential roles in survival and immediate responses, they can also challenge our higher aspirations, making balance and awareness crucial in navigating life. Without the spiritual perception of the third eye and the other higher chakras, understanding the divine can be quite challenging or even impossible for some. The third eye, as a center of spiritual insight, allows us to transcend the limits of the intellect and perceive the divine not just intellectually but with higher intuition. It opens the doorway to a deeper, more direct understanding of the universal laws and the interconnectedness of life, of all life. Chapter 2. The Pyramid, a perfect symbol of divine unity across all religions. Let me explain my thoughts on religions by using the pyramid structure. Think of the very top of the pyramid, the apex, as the divine consciousness. It's pure, unified, and limitless. As you move down the pyramid, it starts to widen into 4 corner points. These corner points, moving away from each other, symbolize the separation we feel here in the physical world. But here's the thing, separation isn't real. It's just an illusion that happens when we move further away from the source. The more we descend away from the apex or the source, the more we notice this distance between the corner points. But even though the points seem far apart, they are still connected with each other as part of the same pyramid structure. It's like our points of view. It's like religions, philosophies, or belief systems. They all come from the same divine source at the top, even though they may seem completely different from each other down here in the material world. Now, to visualize the pyramid symbolism once more, picture this. At the apex of the pyramid, everything is united. It's like a single bright star lighting up the night sky. But as you move farther down, that one star seems to split into many smaller stars, or rays of light. The light is the same, but it looks different depending on where you stand from below. The further they go from the top, the more separated these light rays or stars seem, just like how religions or philosophies have branched out over time. The truth remains whole or solid, unified at the top, but down here on earth, we only see fragments, especially if we're looking at things through our earthly persona or perception and not through the spiritual insight of the third eye. Now, let's dig deeper. Imagine standing at one corner of the pyramid's base. From where you are, the other three corners might look so far away, maybe even unrelatable or unreachable. That's how separation feels in daily life. Whether we're talking about religion, personal beliefs, or even relationships. But here's the good part. As you start to rise higher and higher up the pyramid through things like meditation, spiritual practice, or inner work, those far off corner points start to get closer again. Eventually, they meet at the apex again, where everything becomes one, united again. At that point, you see the world differently through divine or cosmic consciousness. And when the third eye is truly awakened, that's where the magic happens. That's also why the third eye is often linked to the triangle or pyramid. It's like the apex of the human spirit, the point where unity and clarity exist. Here on earth, activating this divine eye takes some serious practice and dedication, whether it's through mystical disciplines or magical training. This whole pyramid idea doesn't just apply to religion. It works for anything: political views, cultural differences, personal conflicts, even the battles we fight within ourselves. The pyramid shows us that separation might feel real, but it's just a trick of the mind. It's how our ego or earthly persona interprets the world like there's a clear separation. My dear seeker, the truth is, we are all connected. The apex reminds us of where we came from and where we are headed. A divine truth that becomes crystal clear when the divine consciousness, along with the third eye, is fully awakened.